Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 Super Wild Card NFL Super Wild Card Weekend Sunday night and Monday Night Football recap show. We're going to recap both games, the Steelers and Chiefs game and the Rams game. We'll get to that in a sec. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 NFL Super Wild Card Weekend Sunday and Monday Night Football trivia question. That's a Rams trivia question. Which of the following LA Rams did not have his uniform number retired? I'll have the answer later in the podcast. Well, let's recap the Sunday night game first. Wild card game first. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 42-21. They just demolished them on Sunday at Arrowhead Stadium. And I took Kansas City and won for that game. I went 5-1 on my picks this week. I'll get to that in a few seconds. At Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Mahomes had 5 touchdown passes with less than 6 minutes expired in the second half as the Chiefs really poured it on and blasted the Steelers, as I mentioned, 42-21 in an AFC Wild Card playoff game. The Chiefs scored so much, they announced in the fourth quarter they ran out of touchdown fireworks. Pittsburgh barely got into the playoffs, sneaking in when things went their way in Week 18, and everything was difficult for them and Roethlisberger all season. Well, and the season is finally over for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And with it, Roethlisberger's career is likely done as well. Very few players get a satisfying ending, and that is very true. But, and the Chiefs were going nowhere on offense against Pittsburgh early Sunday night. So Coach Andy Reid had wide receiver Mecole Hardman take a shotgun snap and hand off to running back Darrell Williams on a trick play. Their exchange hit the ground. T.J. Watt picked it up and turned the fumble for a touchdown. It was precisely the kind of play that should have energized the heavy underdogs playing in a tough environment on the road, but it wound up doing something else entirely, and it ticked off Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. He proceeded to throw for 404 yards and 5 scores, leading KC to the end zone on 6 straight possessions after the turnover, and the Chiefs cruised through the second half for a 42-21 wild card victory. We were all pissed at ourselves, Mahomes said. We weren't playing enough with enough energy. We weren't playing at a high enough level. We all motivated ourselves. Everyone was talking to each other, and we came out with a different urgency. Byron Pringle caught touchdown passes from both Mahomes and Kelce, and Jerick McKinnon and Tyreek Hill also had scoring catches, while the Chiefs 13-5 shut down the retiring Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers offense. The performance not only sent Kansas City into the divisional round of the playoffs, it also turned next Sunday's game against Buffalo, a rematch of last year's AFC title game, into an appointment viewing. The Bills had a similar easy time with their 47-17 victory over New England on Saturday. When you've been to the Super Bowl the last 2 years and you walk off that field with a loss last year, you want to go back and get that revenge and get that win, Mahomes said. We have the Bills coming here this next week, and we are going to have to play our best football. Well, Roethlisberger, who acknowledged the Steelers 9-8-1 were Not a very good football team this week. Wasn't very good in his own right. The 39-year-old quarterback was 29 for 44 for 215 yards with two meaningless touchdown passes late in the game, providing the coda to a career that includes 6 Pro Bowl trips and 2 Super Bowl wins. I mean, we lost. It stinks. But when you get to the tournament, only one team is going to end the season the way you want it, Roethlisberger said. I will say, I am proud of the way our guys fought tonight. Judging by the final score, you'd never guess the first quarter was all about defense. The Steelers ran 14 plays and went 12 yards, while the Chiefs had more punt return yards than they had from scrimmage. 62 made sense that the first points would be scored on defense too. After the Steelers punted for a 5th straight time, the Chiefs inexplicably had Hardman take a snap rather than their 4-time Pro Bowl quarterback Williams bobbled the exchange. Watt grabbed the fumble, and Pittsburgh got a 7-0 lead. It didn't last long. Mahomes responded by completing his next 6 passes, capping a 76-yard drive with a nifty underhand flick to McKinnon that tied it. Then the brilliant young quarterback found Pringle in the corner of the end zone for a score, and that put an exclamation mark on the half by hitting Kels for a 48-yard touchdown strike. In the span of less than 6 minutes, Mahomes and the Chiefs had turned a 7-point deficit into a 21-7 lead. You know what? I didn't have to say much, Reed said. The players know better than anybody when there is a screw-up. They bared down and nobody was hanging their head, they said. Let's go. We need to amp it up here a little bit. It wasn't quite the 23-0 halftime lead advantage the Chiefs had in their December blowout of the Steelers, but it sure felt that way. Roethlisberger was 5 of 14 for 24 yards in the first half, and Pittsburgh had 55 yards total offense. Not much of a retirement party if Roethlisberger indeed calls it quits. I don't think any of us played well, he said. We didn't make the plays we had to early to give ourselves a chance. And doing that, we didn't keep our defense off the field. Those are tough situations to go against such a high-powered offense. As for the Chiefs, their celebration started in earnest after Mahomes led them on another TD drive to start the second half. The game was such a laugher by the point that when Hill ruled down just shy of the goal line, Mahomes simply threw his next pass on 3rd and goal to offensive tackle Nick Algoretti for the score. Hill got his TD catch eventually. It came after the Steelers rookie Najee Harris lost a fumble for the first time all season. The Chiefs kept scoring too, and Kelsey's mom, who began the day watching her other son Jason and the Eagles losing Tampa Bay, got to see her younger son throw a TD pass in the 4th quarter. By that point, the Chiefs had scored so often they had to post a message on the Arrowhead Stadium video boards that they had run out of fireworks, as I mentioned earlier. Mahomes and the rest of the Chiefs had provided enough of their own, and as opposed to coming in here and just talking about the things we didn't do, I just expressed to the football team the classy thing to do was to compliment the Kansas City Chiefs. Steelers Mike Tomlin said they have a really good football team. They have an explosive team, and they did a really good job tonight. So, well, Pittsburgh gets to the offseason complimenting how they might replace longtime starting quarterback Big Ben Roethlisberger. The Chiefs welcome Buffalo next Sunday for a rematch of the Bills of a game the Bills won 38-20 in October. Mahomes threw three TD passes in a 38-24 victory for the AFC crown last January. So it'll be Kansas City and Buffalo next week. And game balls, I got to give those out right now. Patrick Mahomes, 30 of 39 carries and attempts, running 4 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jerick McKinnon, 12 attempts, 61 yards, no touchdowns. Travis Kelce, 5 receptions, 108 yards, 1 touchdown. We'll talk about last night's Rams-Cardinals game in just a moment. But right now, it's time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 NFL Super Wild Card Weekend Sunday and Monday night trivia question. Which of the following LA Rams did not have his uniform number retired? And if you said David Deacon Jones, you are correct. Shockingly enough, Hall of Famer Deacon Jones, considered to be one of the greatest defensive ends in the NFL history, has not had his number 75 retired. Olsen's 74, Waterfield's number 7, and Eric Dickerson's number 29 have been retired. And I will have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. Well, last night in the Super NFL Monday Night football wildcard game, the LA Rams beat the Arizona Cardinals, blew them out 34-11 last night at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Stafford combined for 3 touchdowns, vastly while outplaying Cardinals counterpart Kyler Murray. And the Los Angeles Rams got contributions from up and down their star-studded roster en route to a stress-free 34-11 win at SoFi Stadium. It filled a playoff hole in Stafford's resume as he punched the Rams' ticket into the divisional round, where they'll face Tom Brady and the defending champion Buccaneers on Sunday in Tampa, Florida. Stafford's 323 career touchdown passes in the regular season, where most any player without a playoff victory, according to ESPN stats information. As for the Arizona Cardinals, they struggle both offensively and defensively, and they did not score until the second half, and things did not go the Cardinals' way, to say the least. And it did not go their way, and the Rams had a 20-point lead on Arizona with 4.5 minutes left in a reckless SoFi Stadium. Matthew Stafford's 13-year quest for his first playoff victory was all but complete after Los Angeles' dominant performance on both sides of the ball. And Stafford never forgot to have fun, and it took the pressure off him. He was strong enough to carry it all, and the Rams are riding him on to Tampa Bay. Stafford passed for 202 yards and 2 touchdowns and ran for another score in his first playoff win as the Rams roared out the wild card round with a 34-11 victory over Arizona Monday night, as I said. And Stafford said, "Our defense played outstanding tonight. Special teams basically set up a score, and we were good enough on offense. To score some points and come away with the win. Just happy to be moving on." And that's exactly what they are doing, is moving on. So, because they will be playing Tampa Bay next Sunday, and the Cardinals are going to have a lot of work to do this offseason. And Matt Stafford and Sonny Mitchell and Cooper Kupp get the game balls. And so I'm going to talk about the games for this week quickly. Cincinnati plays Tennessee on Saturday in the 3:30 game. Actually, the 4:30 game, excuse me. And at 8:15, San Francisco 49ers take on the Green Bay Packers. Sunday, Los Angeles and Tampa Bay, and at 6:30, Buffalo and KC. That's just about going to do it. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.